सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। Start by chanting the Hanuman Chalisa. We'll chant the dhyana shlokas first. Atulita baladhamam hemashailaabhadeham danujavana krushanam jnaninamagraganyam सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातात्मजं नमामि। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीगुरुचरणसरोज रज निजमुनमुकुर सुधारि वर्णौ रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बधाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे आस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मुलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जोजन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते। तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आप तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत पीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा, जो समिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गुसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंधि महा सुख होय। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसौ सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। So we had seen how Hanumanji, what are his virtues and who is the one who is praising Hanumanji. And we said that okay, first who was the one who praised Bhagwan himself, Ramji himself, who is actually he is the very cause, or he is the very he's the very beholder of this entire world, of this entire universe, and he is the one who is praising Hanumanji. And what did he say? You're as dear to me as my own brother Bharat. And or rather, actually, what he is trying to say there is that there is no difference for me between Bharat and you. So that is what he said. And then further, who praised him? Lakshmana. He said that, Raghupati ki inhi bahut badhai. So it is, who has praised, not just Ramji has praised, but also Lakshmana has praised Hanuman. And one would think that, Lakshmana would have thought of him as his competitor or something. Nothing like that. When it comes to admiring and appreciating someone, then there is that genuineness which should come, right? And with this genuineness only, what has Lakshmana said? Lakshmana says that, if I look at myself and the way I serve my Bhagwan, Ramji, because for him, it was not just that he is his Jeshta Bhrata or the elder brother, but he is also his own favorite Ishta Devata, right? And Lakshmana was saying over there that, if you see the way I am serving Ramji, it is nothing as compared to the way Hanumanji is doing. Why so? Because, I am serving only Bhagwan. Only when Bhagwan is in front of me, whatever he needs, I will be alert to it and I will do it. But Hanumanji is ever present and alert for even the bhaktas, the devotees of Bhagwan, those who are the sevaks of Bhagwan. Even for them, he will give as much alertness and as he would to Bhagwan. So for Hanumanji, there is no difference between a devotee and the Lord himself. For him, that devotee is also another form of that Lord alone, right? So like this, Lakshmana also praises him. And then what does he say? he says, Sahasa badana tumharo jas gaave, asa kahi Shripati kantha lagave. Right? And then further, we spoke about the pravritti margis and the nivritti margis, those who are engaged in the world for their, whatever gains in the world, whatever achievements they want. There is that kind of ambition for that. And they also seek the Lord to gain whatever they desire. And then there are those who are those nivritti margis. What is these nivritti margis? They are the ones who are seeking the Lord for the Lord alone. They are seeking that absolute truth. Right? So you might think, their preferences of the Ishta Devata might be different. Those who are, seeking worldly enjoyment, they might be seeking the Lord in a different way. And, those who are Nivritti Margis, they might be seeking another type of the Lord. Right? But here, both of them, who are those Sanaka Adi. He has given the name of Sanaka Adi as the Nivritti Margis. And he has also given the name of Yama, Kubera, right? All these who are Digpala, those who are working in the world for worldly achievements, they are the ones who are also seeking Hanumanji. For what? Because they know that through Hanumanji they can reach Ramji. And also they see him as an ideal in that Karma Yoga also. Right? So they have seen in Hanumanji how being in the world and pursuing, pursuing that goal which has been given to Hanumanji by the Lord, by Bhagwan Ram, he was able to achieve that just able to do just by taking the name of the Lord and serving him in the best way possible. So no obstacle, was such that could, right? That was the way the worldly or ambitious people like Yama, Kubera, etc. also idealized Hanumanji. And so too the ones who chose that path of Nivritti, those who were worshipping that Lord for that Nirguna Brahma. So they also saw that Hanumanji could attain that highest of attainments, that purpose of life he could attain just like that, right? So here too, they also praised Hanuman. Now the next one, the next praise, it came in, it came from whom? From Sugriva. So what did Sugriva tell Hanumanji? He said, Tuma upakara Sugriva hi kinha, Rama milaya Rajapada dinha. We saw that, what is the difference between doing a task as a duty and doing a task as a upakar. Upakar is that where you are going beyond your normal role or your assigned task, where you need not do that which is given, which has come your way, but you will do it anyway because that is the best possible way to do something right. So here, what did Hanumanji do? So that Sugriva, who is the king of the monkeys over there, he is praising Hanumanji in this way. So what did he do for this? So one is that, if we just look at that line, Rama milaya Rajapada dinha. So is that sufficient? What exactly happened beyond that? That is what, if we go to that story of Vali and Sugriva in the Kishkinda Kanda of Ramayana. That story is where the whole, the Vanara Sena comes about, and also where Ramji and they meet Sugriva. But how did all this transpire? We saw the story in the last session. I told all the story of, these two brothers. Who are the two brothers? Vali and Sugriva. And how Vali, even though he was so strong, etc., he was always very arrogant, and he was always having this kind of pride in whatever he did. And so, even though Sugriva was there, he was a mellow person, he would try to give the right kind of suggestions to Vali. But how at one time this whole brotherhood broke. How did it break? Because you had the Mayavi Rakshasa who kind of trapped Vali into the cave, and then they had the fight, and then and then it was Sugriva who thought that, oh, it is Vali has lost the battle between him and Mayavi, and so as was told to him by Vali itself, what did he do? He closed the cave, even though he saw a stream of blood coming after 1 month when he was waiting outside the cave. Vali had told him that after a month, if within a month I don't come out, then what should you do? You just close the lid of that cave and you leave. Here again, what did Sugriva do? He did exactly what was told to him by Vali. But unfortunately for him, it was not Vali who lost the battle, it was that Mayavi Rakshasa. And then what happened? Mayavi, he to perished. But Vali, the Maya came upon him. Vali forgot all that he had told to Sugriva in his restlessness to get out of the cave, etc. When he faced his court, when he went to the court, what happened? He saw that the people of all his courtiers what had they done? They had placed Sugriva on the throne, and he was so enraged. He said, not only did you cheat me by closing that cave, and now you are sitting on the throne. Come on, you are not going to be here. I am going to drink your blood. I am so angry. So there, Sugriva, being the quiet person that he was was so shocked that he couldn't even speak a word, and he kept trying, oh, but brother, listen to me, right? But his brother was not willing to listen. He was in such anger, he was enraged to such an extent that he said, if you don't disappear right now from front of my eyes, I am going to kill you. So Sugriva had to literally flee from that place, and Vali not only took back his kingdom, but also he kidnapped also Sugriva's wife, right? So this was what came about. And thereafter what happened? Thereafter, Vali still didn't rest. He said, till I don't get my revenge on Sugriva, I am not going to leave him alive. So Sugriva kept running from place to place, in the southern direction, and that's how he knew each and every alley, each and every corner of the forest of Kishkinda, and even where there is water, where whatever sources of fruits, etc. there, everything he came to know. And to support him was the other Vanaras who had teamed up with him and come. So who was among them? Hanumanji was one of them. And as would happen, sometimes you go searching from one place to the other for that precious thing, and then suddenly what happens? You see that, oh, it is right in front of you. So what he was looking for was a place where he could have some solace, where Vali cannot come and pounce on him. And right there where he was standing, he found the Rishyamukha Parvat. Now this Rishyamukha Parvat was very enchanting, and it also was the only place where Vali could not stay, because Vali, in some battle that had happened, Vali had caught hold of this Rakshasa named Dundubi. And this Dundubi, when he was held, when when Vali caught hold of him. We'll not go into the story of Dundubi and Vali, but what happened, what transpired was that when, Vali caught hold of Dundubi, he threw him at the mountain which was in front of him, and that was this Rishyamukha Parvata where some rishis were staying, and the rishi, they were having their, yajna, etc. They were performing, and when that Rakshas, he was not when we say Rakshasa, we have to understand that it was very, very huge Rakshasa, okay? Not someone who is human sized, but much, much more bigger than human size. And when, Vali managed to hurl him on that mountain, it caused a lot of damage. And the rishi over there was so angry, he cursed Vali, and he said that, now forever, if you, kind of try to set foot on this Rishyamukha Parvat, then what is going to happen? You are going to perish then and there. So don't you dare come here. So that was the curse on Vali, and therefore, what happened? Sugriva said, oh, this is a blessing. So who told him about this? One of the Vanaras. One of the Vanaras told him that yes, this is that Rishyamukha Parvat where, where Vali cannot come and, cause any kind of damage. So this is the best abode for us. And that is where then Sugriva, along with the Vanaras, was, he set up his tent over there and he was staying over there. Now, you have to understand that, this was somewhat a relief for Sugriva, and it also became a lookout point for him. In case Vali comes or sends someone from the top of the mountain, who can see it? Sugriva can all the time see. So he was not, even though he was staying on that Rishyamukha Parvat, he was very restless. So he couldn't, sleep well. He would always be on the lookout. Is Vali coming? Has he sent someone? That was the kind of insecurity that he was breeding in his mind. And that's how one afternoon he saw these two young rishi-like, young men who were very well built. And not just they were well built, in the sense like, it was as though there was some kind of splendor about their entire being. And there was some kind of splendor, as in some kind of brilliance was there about them. And they, even though they were looking like, rishis, but however they were more looking like some kind of princes. And they were also having this bow and arrow. There was a quiver full of bows, and there was the arrow also. So now, immediately what happened? Sugriva's mind immediately started thinking, these people, they don't belong to this forest. Secondly, the way they are, they seem to be very, pious, but maybe Vali has sent them in some kind of guise. So maybe they are out to get me. So immediately his restlessness, his agitation began out of the insecurity that was there in his mind. And then he, called his trusted aide. Who is the trusted aide? Hanumanji. So even this is one thing that, we have to always keep in mind. This episode from the Ramayana, this is what tells that, in times of difficulty, whom should we have at our side? We should have those who, without bias, without any kind of bias, are able to give us some kind of right advice as to how to proceed. When we are rambling about, what happens when there is some kind of confusion or when there is some kind of difficulty happening in our life? What happens generally? We tend to react and we say that, no, maybe I should do this. I can't really think what is right. My mind is not working. And in such a state, what is best? Kind of company about us. We should have the right kind of people who are friends who can give us the right direction. Right? Otherwise, what happens? Otherwise, if there is someone who might give us such advice which is not beneficial neither for us nor for the other people, right, then it is going to cause much more cause for anxiety, right? So here also Sugriva of course thanked Bhagwan, good advisors for him, and he could even call on the help of someone who was so alert, like Hanumanji. So he told Hanumanji, these two men who are coming, I don't trust. Maybe Vali has sent them. And so then then Hanumanji says, I think you are overthinking. He doesn't hesitate. Okay, Hanumanji, he doesn't hesitate. He says, I think you are leaving your wisdom aside and going more towards what? Your monkey nature. Which is how, how do monkeys actually respond to things? They are very, one is they are very insecure. Their things they will keep close to them, including their own kids, etc. No, they will have this sense of protectiveness. And also what will they do? They will tend to react to something. Right? So here Hanumanji is saying, calm down. I think you are overthinking. You are just from a distance assuming that those two men are someone who have come to cause harm to you. I will go and I will check who they are. And Sugriva says, yes, please do that, right? And they seem, from appearance they seem to be good, but I don't know what is their intent, what is the intent with which they have come here, that I am not very sure. Or maybe, maybe Vali has sent them after all. So he couldn't let go of that insecurity which was there in his mind, right? And then Hanumanji said, fine, let me go and check. And Hanumanji, of course, being the wise one that he is, thinking on the spot, what did he do? He changed his form to become a Brahmin and presented himself in front of the two brothers. Now the two brothers, they were surprised to again see this Brahmin appear out of nowhere, and they kind of, Lakshmana to always was on the alert only. The moment he would see someone, he would think, this is a threat. From where has this person come? Right? And Rama, as always, had a very calm demeanor to him. Of course, both of them were out searching for Sita. And, around them, when Rama was walking also, he was seeing that the forest was so beautiful. It was the spring season. And he said, everything is in bloom and it is so beautiful. This, he was telling to Lakshmana that, this is the time when Sita would have enjoyed the most. But I don't know where she is. And I don't know in what condition she is. And he was lamenting in this way when this Brahmin comes in front of them. And there was something very surreal about this Brahmin boy also. He started immediately, that Brahmin boy, as in Hanumanji, started immediately praising, the two brothers, saying, you are, really well built. Your arms are, very strong. I can see that though you look like Rishiputras, yet, and you have that calmness also, that sereneness also as that of those Rishiputras, yet there is this beautiful commandeering kind of a appearance to you, Your whole personality is such that even though you might appear to be frail, you are not really frail. You have that kind of aura where you can even take up the bow and arrow at any time and, win a battle. So you seem to be royal. You don't seem to be Rishiputras, even though the kind of clothing you are wearing, the kind of, the way how your hair is, etc. all that might give that impression of you being Rishiputras, yet it looks like you have some kind of a royal lineage. And this he says in such words, such poetic words, that Rama is very impressed. Lord Rama says, Ramji says, oh, Raman, we don't know from where you have come, but you are very eloquent in your speech, right? So he tells him this in what way? He says, that, your Vak Shakti is really very powerful. So herein, again to introduce himself, Hanumanji says what? Hanumanji says that I am the minister of King Sugriva. Sugriva, who is he is the king of the Vanaras. And of course, when he says this with such conviction and confidence, though he knows that in truth, who is the king right at that time? The king of Kishkinda is Vali. And yet, Hanumanji goes ahead and he says that I have come as a representative. I am the minister of King Sugriva, and he's here, he stays on these mountains, in the Rishyamukha Purvata, and I have come to take you to him, because this King Sugriva is a great devotee of yours. So when he speaks thus, his tone is also so full of humility and humbleness, and the words he uses is so eloquent, as in some words which will come to someone who is very well read. So Ramji says, he praises him so much. He says, there is the do we know this shloka? This shloka which is Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogatam Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranad Bhavit. So in that, one of the qualities of Hanumanji is what? Vakpatutvam. Vakpatutvam, one who has such great eloquence in speech. When will someone have good speech? When one is very well read, like not someone like any of, it's not someone like me, as in someone who has the right words on the tongue, doesn't have to search for words to speak or express themselves. When praising someone, when they meet someone, what happens? They immediately are able to connect with the people and express the idea that they want to express, or convey the message that they have to. And Hanumanji had come as an ambassador of who? Of Sugriva. And in that first meeting, he gave such a beautiful impression of himself that Ramji said, "Oh, you are the minister of King Sugriva, and you say that he is my devotee. Okay, I definitely would like to meet him, especially someone whose minister or ambassador is someone like this, who seems to be very well read." He tells his brother Lakshmana, "Oh Sumitraya, do you look at him. He seems to be well read in all the Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, because he is able to speak such words. His grammar is perfect. There is no gap between what thought he has and what he is speaking, and there is no place where he is searching for any words. He is able to speak so perfectly. His speech is so beautiful, right? So in this way, what happens? Ramji is impressed and he says, "Okay, let's go and meet Sugriva. I would like to meet him." And here you might say that, "Oh, but why did Hanumanji say that? Even though Sugriva was not the king, and even though he was feeling so insecure about these two brothers who have come, and he was saying, go and check them out. Maybe they are our enemies. Maybe Vali has sent them, And here what has Hanumanji said? Hanumanji has said that my king Sugriva is your great devotee and he is looking forward to meet you. So you might say this is very contradictory to the actual situation. But here in lies the wisdom of Hanumanji, right? How was he speaking? He was speaking Bhavishya-vritya. What is Bhavishya-vritya? In the sense that when someone has the conviction that this step that I take, it is in the right direction, then what does it mean? It means, one, my destination is clear at this point and I have taken the first step towards it and I know that I will reach my destination. So in view of the future, Hanumanji knows that this is the best connection that Sugriva will have in order to regain that throne which he had to abandon because of Vali. And second is what he knew, not just for that, not just for that one gain of the throne, but also that moksha arthya, to connect with the actual goal of life also, this is the best connection. Which connection? With the Lord, right? So in that way, he says, in view of the future which will come about between the connection between Rama, Lord Rama and Sugriva, he goes ahead and says that Sugriva is the king and he is the devotee of Rama because he wanted this to happen, right? So when we say this, what is the bhava of this, or what is the goodness of this in Hanumanji is that he is speaking like that Guru. Who is the Guru? Guru is the one who is connecting this jiva with that Bhagwan, right? What is the Guru doing? The Guru is going to give that correct direction to that sadhaka, to that seeker, in order to reach that ultimate goal of life, right? And here is what Hanumanji has done. He has connected Sugriva with Lord Rama, right? Then further what happened? Further what happened? If you remember that picture, of Hanumanji. There is one picture where Hanumanji is carrying Lord Rama and Lakshmana on his shoulders. So that famous picture is what happened at that instance where, at that episode where he carried both Rama and Lakshmana to the Rishyamukha Parvat. So that is that story, right? And then further what happened? Further then, as they reach there, Sugriva is happy to receive, now he can't say anything. What does it entail? It means that, if Hanuman has brought them, they are safe people, fine. But still in his mind, there was some kind of anxiety, okay? So he says, oh Ramji, I am really happy to meet you. And then both of them look at each other, So here, of course, Hanumanji had dropped his Brahmin form and gone to being the original Hanumanji, right? And then he introduces Sugriva with Ramji and Lakshmana, and he tells him the story of what had happened. Now who tells the story? Sugriva tells, this is my sad story. What had happened? Vali, my brother, and all the insecurity, etc., and how he is chasing him, etc., etc. And then also he says that Vali has taken away my wife also. So not only the throne is gone, but even my family is gone. This is how I am. This is the pathetic state of affairs here. And then for Ramji, Lakshmana tells the story of how Sita was taken away. And they come to know that both are in the similar kind of a predicament. And Ramji says, okay, I will support you. I will help you out. Throne. But once you do, you should be able to also help me find my Sita. So Sugriva says, yes, I will do it. I'm all for it and I will do it. But Bhagwan, I know that you are going to be the best to guide me. You are going to be the best to support me. But you don't know how Vali is. Vali is so strong. So I have to test your strength. You appear to be good and strong, but still, I need to know how powerful your art of warfare is, or what is your strength. I have to know that, na? So Bhagwan says, okay, fine. Tell me, what do you want me to do? So Bhagwan says, so Sugriva tells him that, you see right there, that huge big thing lying over there, that carcass, all those bones, what are they? They are the remains of a Dundubi Rakshas. He was hurled over here by my brother Vali, and though he died, his bones, he is so heavy, the bones, etc., no one has been able to lift it. Will you be able to even do some justice to that? So then Ramji says, he doesn't say anything. And behind him, you can imagine what would have been happening in the mind of Lakshmana. He would be like, what is this person trying to do? He's challenging my brother. Like that, whom is he talking to? But, Ramji, even though he's the Lord of the universe, he said, whatever, if my devotee wants to test me, I will go ahead and do it. So all he does is take his toe and just pushes that carcass. Only with his toe. Okay? With the foot, he just kind of, nudges that carcass and it just flies off. It just goes away. So that was, then of course Sugriva is totally embarrassed, but more than embarrassed, he is very happy. He says, oh, this is good. Now I can see the measure of the strength of this young person who is standing here in front of me, who is Ramji. Very good, very good. And he says, Bhagwan, I know you are carrying this bow and arrow and all. I know you will be efficient, but still, as I told you, don't know how Vali is, right? So he says, okay, fine. What do you want me to do? So he says, those marks are there put in place. Those marks like for the arrow to hit. Those targets have been placed. Can you just show me little bit of your archery? Bhagwan shows. And of course, there is no doubt that he totally floored Sugriva after this. And then what? Then Sugriva is impressed and he says, now Bhagwan, there is no test. It was just that my mind was going here and there. When the mind is not able to focus, there are a lot of such doubts which surface in our mind. And this is what happens to us devotees also, right? Even though we might chant the name of Lord Rama or whoever is our Ishta, but when it comes to our problems, we'll say that, oh, Bhagwan, will you really be able to fulfill my wish? Bhagwan will say, haven't I been doing it all along? No, Bhagwan, but I wanted it in this way. Our insistence of getting the results in the way we want them, that is what brings in agitation in our mind. That is what breeds that insecurity in our mind, where we are not able to surrender. And this was the condition of Sugriva. Now Sugriva says, Bhagwan, I have tested you well. I think, you are the best person for it. I have no doubts. Now my surrender, my focus is truly at you. Whatever you say, I will do. Whatever you say, I will do. I will follow that. So Ramji says, okay, good. Now you go and you challenge Vali. And Sugriva says, are you sure? Yeah, he says, you just now told you will do whatever I say. Yeah, Sugriva says, I'll go and challenge Vali. And even, the understanding was that Ramji will come and he will do the needful. Though the challenge will be from Sugriva, who is going to finish Vali? So now Sugriva has challenged. He goes, shouts outside the palace of Vali, and he calls him out, and then he runs. He runs towards the mountains. And okay, if you want to see this very very visually, I would suggest there is this Ramayana animated movie. Sometime you can watch that. They have shown it very beautifully also. So what happened then? In that story, Vali, of course, when he is challenged, he can't resist. That was the weakness of it, right? Of Vali also. Tara tells him, no, I think there is something wrong. Why has Sugriva suddenly come and he is challenging you? Be careful. And yet Vali says, no, you don't caution me like this. And he goes ahead. And we also have to know that this Vali had at some point also had a battle with Ravana. And he was so successful at that battle that Ravana had literally been captured and was in his court. And his son, whose son? Vali's son Angad had literally made Ravana the horse and sat on his back. This is the kind of, this was the kind of strength that Vali had. So anyways, what happened further? Now, Vali has gone and he's chasing after Sugriva. And Sugriva, he's looking here and there. Where is Rama? Where is he there as my backup? We had decided, but where is he? Where is he? And he's looking for him. And yet what happens? Finally, Vali catches hold of him and he beats him up. And Sugriva, he somehow manages to get out of the hold of Vali and runs towards the Rishyamukha Parvat. And there, broken and beaten, he goes and he bows down to Rama and he says, what did you do? You sent me over there, I challenged my brother, and here I have been beaten up and you didn't even come to help me. Then Ramji said, I was just testing. You tested me. Now I also had to test whether you are able to hold up or no, or what was the strength of this Vali. I also wanted to test. So he says, okay, mainly what was the reason why I could not do anything to help you and support you was, both of you brothers look so alike. So I was not able to understand which one was who. What if I hit the arrow and it hits you? So what you do tomorrow is, you go and you challenge him again, but this time you wear a garland in your neck. Then I will know which one is who. Who is Vali, who is Sugriva. And in this way, the next day too, Sugriva, he has bowed down to Ramji and he says, okay, I will do exactly as you said. And again, when he challenges Vali, Vali comes to hit out at him. And this time, Ramji shoots his arrow from behind and it hits Vali and Vali crashes down. Now Vali, as he crashes down, he is shocked. He says, he looks at Ramji and he says that, oh, Bhagwan, I thought you were Samadarshi. You don't see differences between people. You don't see differences as this is good and this is bad. And yet, why did you do this? Why so much partiality towards Sugriva? So, Bhagwan says, no, I did that which is worthy to be done as per dharma. One, not only did you take away his throne without even listening to the reasoning behind why he was sitting on that throne, and two, you also took away his wife. That's definitely a crime. And therefore, I had to shoot that arrow at you. Especially when someone has requested for my help, I had to do it. And I have stuck to dharma and I have hit out at that which is adharma. So, Vali, there is nothing wrong in what I did. But if you so say, what am I ready to do for you? I am willing to give you the same life that you have lost. the same identity that you have, willing to give you back if you request me to do so. And Vali says, no Bhagwan, there are many who do lot of tapas to gain that moksha, that liberation that will reach reach one to that path and merge with you. And here you are, with your arrow itself, I am hit. Then why shouldn't I just surrender to that fate of mine at your hands and merge with you? And besides, what I see that my, whatever worry that I might have was towards my son Angad. He is under the able guidance of your shelter. I'm sure you will do what is rightful for him to be done. And you will put him on the throne at some time. I'm very sure of that. So Bhagwan, I am willing to gain this liberation right at your hands. And so saying, on the lap of Hanumanji, Vali gave up his life. Calling out the name of the Lord there, and then he dies. Right? So here, we have to understand. Of course, this is the whole, understanding as to how Vali died because many people, they ask, how could Rama do that? How could Rama that arrow from behind the tree and kill Vali? Was that fair? So here Bhagwan has a reasoning. He was Dharma Purusha. He was the one who was walking that path in the Manushya form for meting out that which is righteousness, that which is Dharma. And he did what was right alone. And we saw also in this episode how Vali also accepted that faith of himself. Right? So now if we have to understand what is the symbolism in the story between Sugriva and Vali. So if we see, why did Sugriva also, if we look at the story, poor Sugriva, you might think, he seems to be going through such a bad faith where there was no kind of fault of his, where he had not done anything. He was abiding by being the right brother, giving the right advice, doing the right thing. He took to the throne also because the courtiers or all the countrymen of Kishkinda, they said that or the Vanaras of Kishkinda said, no, we can't stay without a king, and therefore you have to sit on the throne. And yet, Vali, neither did he give a chance for him to speak. And what did he do? He took away even his wife. Now, why did Sugriva have to go this kind of faith? And, was it right that he got so much of beating? And then further what happens? What is this Rishyamukha Parvat? This Rishyamukha Parvat, the symbolism of that is that when one is agitated, like how Sugriva was, who can give us true solace and peace at heart, where we can rest without any kind of agitations or anxiety, is when we remember the mantras, or when we understand the purport of the mantras, or the significance of that auspicious chanting of the rishis. Why they spoke what they did, why they were able to tune in their thoughts and meditate on those auspicious words of the scriptures. So as we say, who are the rishis? Rishis are mantra drashtaraha, those who are able to see, those to whom the mantras are revealed. It is not that, they have written those mantras, but it is actually what they were able to tune in with a pure mind to those highest of truths given in the form of words. And what is Rishyamukha Parvata? Going towards that higher. When we are in difficult situations, when the mind is restless, what should we do? We should be able to sit quietly and in that quietude bring in the knowledge which is going to help us. So that is this importance of the Rishyamukha Parvat. Then you might say, who is Sugriva and who is Vali? So Sugriva is that, this Jiva. Who is that Jiva? You and me are that Jiva. And who is that Vali who is chasing us like crazy? Saying that, no, I'm going to catch you. That Vali is nothing but that karma phala. That karma phala which is out to get us and give us that joy or sorrow. As a result of what? As a result of that action which we did in the past. So, this Jiva is always into action and is in some way or the other going to get that result. How or what and what is the further story of it, we will see in the next session. Right? As they say. आगे का हिस्सा हम अगले एपिसोड में देखेंगे. Right? So, we will see that. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. हरिओम.